Today's episode is about one of the most powerful figures in Hollywood and a lawsuit that has sparked major conversation. Tyler Perry, a man who built his own studio, his own distribution pipeline, and one of the largest independent media empires in the world. Now that empire is facing legal scrutiny. Let's break down what this lawsuit is about, what's being alleged, and what the realistic outcomes could be. First, some context. Tyler Perry is not just a filmmaker. He's a billionaire media owner, playwright, producer, and studio executive. His Atlanta based studio has been praised for creating opportunities for Black actors, writers, and crews at a scale rarely seen in Hollywood. Because of that, any legal action involving his business carries serious weight. Now, let's talk about the lawsuit itself. The current lawsuit involves allegations brought by individuals who claim they were wronged through business dealings connected to Tyler Perry's production operations. The claims center around contractual disputes, compensation, and alleged misrepresentation tied to creative or employment agreements. It is important to be clear here. These are allegations. Tyler Perry has not been found guilty of wrongdoing, and lawsuits do not equal facts. They are claims that must be proven in court. According to public filings and reporting, the plaintiffs allege that promises were made regarding pay, ownership, or participation, and that those promises were not honored. In some versions of the claims, the argument is that individuals were encouraged to contribute labor or creative work under the belief that future compensation or opportunity would follow. When that didn't happen, legal action followed it. This type of lawsuit is not uncommon in entertainment. Hollywood is full of verbal promises, handshake deals, and informal agreements. But when money gets involved, memories change. Now let's talk about why this lawsuit is gaining traction. The scale of Tyler Perry's operation matters. When someone controls studios, distribution, and employment, power dynamics become part of the legal conversation. Plaintiffs often argue that they lacked leverage. Defendants argue that contracts speak for themselves. That tension is central to this case. Another reason this lawsuit stands out is timing. Hollywood is currently in a period of reevaluation. Writers, actors, and creatives are pushing back against long-standing industry practices, fair pay, credit, and transparency. So this lawsuit lands in an environment where people are already questioning how entertainment businesses operate behind the scenes. Now let's break down Tyler Perry's position. Perry's team has consistently denied wrongdoing. His legal defense argues that contracts were clear, compensation was properly handled, and no promises were broken outside of written agreements. From a legal standpoint, that matters. Courts rely heavily on contracts, not conversations. If an agreement wasn't in writing, proving it becomes much harder. That's why many entertainment lawsuits rise quickly in the media but quietly disappear in court. Now let's talk about the possible outcomes. There are a few realistic paths this case could take. First, dismissal. If the court finds that the claims lack legal foundation or that contracts clearly contradict the allegations, the lawsuit could be dismissed before trial. This happens often, and especially when plaintiffs cannot prove enforceable promises. Second, settlement. This is extremely common. Many high-profile cases never reach a jury. Instead, both sides agree to resolve the dispute privately. No admission of guilt, no verdict, just closure. Settlements protect reputations and avoid prolonged media attention. If this case settles, the public may never know the exact terms. Third, partial win. The court could rule that some claims have merit while others do not. This could result in limited damages or specific corrections rather than a sweeping judgment. This outcome allows both sides to claim some level of victory. Fourth, trial. This is the least common outcome, but the most visible. If this case goes to trial, it would bring testimony, documents, and internal business practices into public view. That's why large media companies usually avoid this route. Trials are unpredictable. Even when you're right, perception can shift. Now let's talk about impact. Regardless of the outcome, lawsuits like this have ripple effects. And they force companies to tighten contracts, clarify languages, reevaluate how creatives are onboarded and compensated. Even if Tyler Perry wins outright, The conversation doesn't disappear. Public scrutiny changes behavior. For Tyler Perry personally, the stakes are not just financial, they're cultural. He represents independence, ownership, and control. Any lawsuit challenges that narrative even temporarily. But it's also important to say this: being sued does not erase decades of work. It does not invalidate the opportunities he's created. And it does not mean the allegations are true. The legal system exists to test claims, not amplify assumptions. Now let's zoom out. This lawsuit is bigger than one man. It reflects a larger shift in entertainment. Creators want clarity, workers want protection, studios want efficiency. Those goals often collide. And when they do, courts become the referee. So, what should people watch next? Court rulings, motions to dismiss, settlement discussions. Those developments will tell the real story, not social media, not headlines. Legal outcomes are decided quietly, slowly, and with precision. Until then, everything else is speculation. The truth in cases like this lives in documents, contracts, and evidence, and not opinions. And as this case moves forward, the only responsible approach is to separate allegations from outcomes. That's how real analysis works. And that's how stories like this should be told. Like, share, and subscribe.